Oh, happy Friday. You made it through the week. And we're going to actually pick up this show where we sort of left it off last night. A viewer question at the end of the 208 about a major announcement from President Biden. So if you tuned in, you may remember this. Grant wrote in, why aren't you discussing President Biden's marijuana announcement today? It's a good question. We appreciate that. Well, that news came in right as we were getting the show on the road last night. So promise delivered here. We're going to circle back. If you missed it, though, President Biden tweeted this on Thursday evening, saying, quote, "Today, I announced a pardon of all prior federal offenses of simple possession of marijuana, urged governors to do the same, and asked HHS and DOJ to review how marijuana is scheduled under federal law." So I reached out to Governor Little's office for his response to the president in the idea of pardoning simple marijuana possession in Idaho. And a statement from his office says this in part, quote, the governor saying, "It is clear President Biden issued this blanket pardon for show, setting a bad precedent when cases should be reviewed on their individual merits. But what's not clear is whether Biden really understands that individuals incarcerated for possession of small amounts of marijuana almost always have accompanying offenses, making his blanket pardon basically pointless." The statement goes on to say, "Here in Idaho, we will continue to fight for a secure border and make our correctional system fair with a focus on keeping dangerous people off the street." So the governor didn't say no, but that's a no. And Governor Little is in a unique spot here in the Northwest with the request from Biden. Marijuana is illegal in Idaho, 100%, no exceptions. So in Idaho, pardoning minor marijuana convictions is very different than it would be just over the border in Oregon or Washington or Nevada or Montana or Utah. Idaho is basically surrounded by states that have legalized marijuana or medical marijuana, like in Utah. So the discussion here is a lot different in Idaho. We also got reaction today from the man who hopes to replace Governor Little in about a month on Election Day, his opponent in the race for governor, Democrat Stephen Haidt. And his press release was sent out at 4:20 p.m., so you can imagine what his response is, but here it is. And Haidt says in part that he supports President Biden's statement that no one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana. He goes on to say specifically, quote, "Idaho citizens with convictions for marijuana possession are often denied employment, housing, travel visas, and educational opportunities. They are sitting in our prisons, costing taxpayers millions of dollars, and unable to work and support their families or contribute to society. Having worked in Idaho prisons, I have witnessed this issue firsthand. As governor, I would relieve the collateral damages that come from these petty convictions, pardoning Idahoans' conviction of simple possession of marijuana," Haidt says in that statement. So there you have it. And I did see a question from our audience about any efforts to legalize marijuana in Idaho. And there actually was a campaign to get an initiative on the ballot for this November in 2022. That did not happen. So organizers say they are working to try again for 2024.